The red canoes got lost in the mail, and one of the checks had an incorrect name on it, and so their bank wouldn't cash it. So you guys have already approved those particular ones, and all of them have been voided in our system.
Okay. So the mail system let us down, huh? Okay, do we have a motion to approve payables?
Motion to approve.
Second, Chris Smith.
Okay. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Director recruitment update. And I'll dive into that. We've had a meeting yesterday, and got a lot of work done actually. And I'll let some of the others that were there weigh in, but I think we're very close to having a document ready to advertise. One thing we need to do, and maybe this is a good place, probably the most appropriate place to do it, is to talk about pay scale. We're currently, I believe at this low end was 105 and the top end was 135. Is that where the board wants to leave that pay scale, or do we need to adjust that? And I know Janelle was going to do some research on that. I don't know that she's had a whole lot of time to get very far with that, but something for us to start thinking about.
This is Janelle. I haven't had much time. I admit, I apologize. We had a very busy day yesterday. So yes, the plan is to research some other PSAP agencies of similar size to us in Washington State and provide those comps if the board would like. But yes, essentially until we have board approval of the range, we can't begin publicly advertising. So if you guys want to wait for those comps or you want to have that discussion today, I'll kind of leave that up to the board.
Yeah, our hope was to be able to start advertising around the first of, or at least the first week of December. So I think we've got most of the other preliminary work accomplished other than that pay scale. So any comments, any ideas, concerns?
So as to not have to wait until the next meeting, is it possible to get that information? I hate to say call a special meeting, but would it be possible for us to meet again once we have that data before the next scheduled meeting, so that we can publish?
That's up to the board.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. I think I could probably get several comps by next week sometime. And then if you would like, I could let Alan know when I have those comps ready. And if you would like to call a special meeting instead of waiting for the 23rd or 24th for our next meeting, we can do so.
And I guess it really depends too, will we have a quorum? That next meeting is going to be like the day before Thanksgiving. So will we have a quorum for that meeting? Are people going to be around?
I'm available.
I would plan to be there.
Yeah, I could be there.
Same.
Okay, so sound like we will have a quorum. So I mean, we can either do a special meeting, I'm certainly open to that, or we could have that as one of the main topics to explore at that meeting, the second meeting in November. So we would be ready to publish then by the 1st of December. So what's your druthers, guys?
I'd prefer just to wait till the 23rd. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt to do a special meeting and post that and everything and make that happen. I'm going to be gone next week. I know at a conference. I know Ralph's going to be there as well, but I don't think we gain a whole lot, maybe 1 week in the process coming up on Thanksgiving anyway. So
Yeah.
I think 23rd is soon enough or would work.
I'd agree. If we can get it done by then, that should work with that start of December timeline.
And that gives Janelle a little breathing room too. So
Yes, I also have negotiations that I'm dealing with and open enrollment and lots of other things. So
no big deal.
yes, I can certainly have those comps ready for that discussion at next meeting. And then I think the tentative plan, as we've talked about, is post at the kind of beginning of December. Will allow for several weeks of applicants to come in. And then it'll be about Christmas time. So we were thinking the 1st or 2nd week of January for our first review of applicants. And then potentially kind of mid to late January, start the interview process to give you guys a tentative timeline of what we're looking at right now.
Okay. I think that's probably a pretty reasonable timeline for this. So any questions or comments? We just wanted to make sure you guys were up to speed and where we're at and what we're doing. Okay, and then we'll move on. We have a discussion for approval of Image Trend, a one-time fee. I'm guessing that's
So- Yeah, that's gonna be me. I was contacted by some of the fire agencies and apparently there is going to be a fee charged by Image Trend for them to do their interface work on the Image Trend side to connect, just like the fee that ERS had requested for District 5 and District 1. The difference is the amount. Image Trend has at least invoiced or quoted one agency $3,500 for that work. So that would be per fire agency that's on Image Trend. For District 1 and District 5, their fee was $500 per connection. And the comm center did pay for that out of the construction budget. So what is the board's desire on that? How do we handle this?
How many other agencies are we talking about?
We've got District 3, District 6, District 2, Longview Fire. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I miss anyone, Bill? Or Jim?
I think that's everyone.
I think that's it.
Okay, and that's $3,500 per agency?
Correct.
Okay. So,
So that doesn't matter on the size or the call demand or anything like that?
I do not believe so. Jason was the one communicating with them and providing dialogue back and forth. So, Bill, didn't you guys just do a contract?
Well, we're still in the process of switching over, so we're not live yet.
No, I realize that, but I thought that you guys had already done some kind of a contract with them.
Well, for our side of it, yeah, but not for the CAD link or whatever you want to call it for the comm center side.
Deanna.
Go ahead, Brandon.
So I just looked up our the quote we got when we signed to integrate with Intergraph. The CAD integration for that was only $1,250. So I'm not sure why it's 3,500 now.
So Brandon, are you guys actually gonna connect to Intergraph and then later connect to Spillman?
That was the plan. We were going to go live with Image Trend before we were going live with Spillman.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and from my understanding, the way it was described to me is that the groundwork's already been done. We're essentially piggybacking on the server within Intergraph. We're having to still pay the fee, but we're just piggybacking. So I'm not sure. I feel like that $3,500 number there might be more to it.
Well, the funny thing is that I can swear that sometime during the Spillman committee meetings and stuff, the message was that Image Trend wasn't charging anything for that connection on that side, because we meaning the comm center's already paid for the Spillman side of the interface to Image Trend. Now Image Trend is saying they have this fee, but I swear they said they didn't, that we had information that they weren't charging a fee, and then they quoted District 2 $3,500 and then said, yeah, it would be per agency. So
Deanna, Eric Crease talked to me yesterday about this.
Okay.
And he said that we were already set because we were a little later than District 2 going with Image Trend, and that we were already set up.
for
And
a
it
connection.
was part of our contract that we paid our initial fees to them.
and that they are not charging you to connect to Spillman later.
Well, that I'm not positive about. So is this 3,500 directly a Spillman
It
charge?
Image Trend, from the dialogue that I had, said, because you're switching CADs and you're gonna go to Spillman, we're gonna charge this $3,500 fee for the work that we have to do on our side, meaning Image Trend side, to connect to the new Spillman CAD.
Okay.
And
maybe
I'd
I
asked
need to
him, is
research,
that like
maybe
per
I need to
agency?
research it a little bit more.
Well,
Okay.
and I had an interesting thought. I know that all of the agencies went at a little bit different time to Image Trend in the current iteration. Everyone is going at the same time and to the same CAD. It seems like
And it's one server.
Yeah, it seems like it would be just doing the work one time, and it seems a little odd to me that they want, well, other than making money, but I can't see a need to charge every agency for the same connection.
So it's sounding like we need to do a little more digging on this one.
Yes.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe we can get together with all the fire agencies that are transitioning over 3-6 Longview Fire District 2 and have some kind of meeting with Image Trend, because I just feel like the fee is outrageous. You know, if it's going to be $3,500 per agency, it's one server.
Yeah.
So
Is that something that you can facilitate, Deanna?
yeah, I can.
Okay. So we'll come back to that at a future date then.
Okay.
Let's see. Next request presentation.
So that will be me. This is our new record system that we have purchased. I sent out a little form describing why. So today I'm just going to do like a little demo with you guys on how it works. Rachel says you disabled my screen sharing. Okay.
There we go.
Can everybody see it?
I can.
Okay. So this is kind of what our portal will look like. We haven't gone live. We go live January 1. So in the new year, I will be bouncing back and forth at the beginning of this between ours and the city of San Diego because we don't have anything currently in ours because we have not gone live. So that way you kind of see kind of how it works a little bit with things actually uploaded. So our portal also looks a little different because I am an admin user, so I get a little bit more than what the public would see. So I will start with the make request section right here. So off to the side right here, you can see this little box that has some popular resources. It has all of our police agencies and Washington State Patrol. This will also have some tips on how to fill out the request because the request looks a little different than what it does now, so that you can highlight the case number, event number, a date range, that sort of thing. And then you have the email, the requester's name, phone number, all that stuff. And then when you look at the city of San Diego, it looks the same, but as you notice right here below the description box, there's no upload. Right here, we have this. So this is for if we were to receive a request via email or in person, we can take that information and a staff user can upload their request to the portal. So it's all saved in one. And then at the bottom here, this is for staff only. So it just determined what kind of request we received, if it was by phone, in person, that sort of thing, and then who can view it and when we received it. This one does not have that, so it is the staff. And then I will take from San Diego kind of a guide for theirs because they have more off to this side besides just popular resources. To kind of give me a guide to accurately fill out ours for tips for the public. Let's see here. I'll go back to the top and right here, this is where all requests will go. So we will have the ability to make requests public, or they will just go to the requester itself. Depending on the type of request, will determine how that is. Over here, we have a filter section so that we can filter if we're doing a search for our request. Ours has a lot of filters, but if you go to the city of San Diego, which is how the public will see, they have fewer filters. So say I wanted all closed requests, so it'll filter just their closed request. If I wanted the police department, it would file all the police. So it just kind of helps them find what they're looking for. So I will go to documents. So ours is still empty, but we have the filters, not as many over here. And then this one also has filters. So if we wanted to get the budget, it would pull up the budget documents for the city. Ours would do the same over here. So let's see here. Ours also has a tasks tab. This is just so our staff can see if they have assigned tasks to them. So everyone on the admin staff will be a user. So this will highlight if, say, I got a request for budget documents or for personnel files for their training records, they've moved on, I can assign it to Rachel or Janelle, and then they will be aware of that and they can take care of that. If they need my assistance, I can help them as well. Let's see here. Over here, we have a portal settings. So this is what it looks like when we go to our portal settings. This highlights the basic information, our page setup. So in here, once our building is complete, I will update this picture. This is just the image that we have chosen for now. We can modify the due date. So if we wanted to push it back to 10 business days or whatever we could. Right now it's 5 because that's what Washington state law requires. If we wanted to add payments, we have that function to get that set up, all this kind of stuff. And then we have a general dashboard that allows us to see what requests we have open, highlights the closed, average business days, and the documents we've uploaded. So it just kind of gives us a quick overview. Right here, we have the ability to input and create departments. So like I said earlier, like I could make a department for HR or finance, something like that, so that they can get those requests and go from there. We tend to only get CAD and audio requests anyway, so I don't think this feature will be super important as of right now. But as we move forward, we may get more and more documents requests for that. We have a users portal. So as I said earlier, everyone's a user. Jerry and Janelle looks like they haven't activated their account yet, but they will. We have another training on this coming up next month. So they will have their account ready to go before that, so we can accurately see how to use it and go from our portals. So we have a couple different template options. So the message template, we can create different types of messages. So we can, when we're sending out our request, we can state that their request, that we have received their request, and this is when they can expect a response from us. We can set one up that states that their request is complete and their audio and or CAD report is attached. We already have language for this, so it's just a matter of uploading those to this template file right here. We also have a template for closures. So these have already been created. We can create other ones if we choose to. These will just be attached once we close out a request. This will be attached with the reason behind the close. So if it was fulfilled, why it was denied, all that kind of stuff. We also have templates for invoices. So right now we don't currently charge for our requests. So this is not set up, but it gives us the opportunity to set up an invoice so that we can bill, and then they can actually pay through the portal with debit or credit card, or they can mail or bring in a cash or check. So if we ever decide to implement that, this is where they would go. So it kind of does it all for us when it comes to our records request. We also have a redaction feature. So in the portal, we can actually take care of redaction. So I will no longer be doing them by hand with whiteout. So that'll be nice. This allows us to create redaction reasons, which will be specific RCWs. And when we do black out the necessary information on the documents, it will specifically state the reason over top so that they aren't questioning why it was redacted. We haven't had that in the past, but you never know. So this just makes it very clear. So I will go in and put all the RCWs that we have on our cheat sheet that I have. We also have this tag. I'm still training on this, so I'm not necessarily sure what all the tags and alerts are, but that's another thing that we have. Also within here, we can create reports. So my plan is to, after we get this rolling, probably come February, maybe March, I will report to the board how many requests we've received, how many have been completed, all that stuff. So you guys kind of have an idea, and this will help me generate those reports. That's basically it. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a couple questions. Is this going to be accessed through our 911 website then?
Yes. So I will, once we go live, I will link it to the website. So we will no longer have the forms generated through the county. It will just take them to this link.
Okay. And as you're going through this, I'm guessing you're probably also seeing what our policy says, and is there any changes policy wise that we need to make this compatible with our policy? You know?
What do you mean? I don't know.
Well, I think we have a open public records policy, don't we? I think we do.
I believe so.
So I guess I would just suggest that, take a look at that and see if there's anything in there that we need to look at from a policy perspective. So, and maybe we just, it may be fine, or maybe we need to address something, but before it goes live, we probably should look at the policy and make sure that everything is consistent.
Okay.
So, any other questions for Brianna? Okay.
Bree, can you make me the host again?
Yes. Sorry. Thank you for your time, guys.
Yeah, thank you. That's good to know. Good. Hopefully that'll lighten your load just a little bit. Move on to board comments and committee reports. Do we have a law TAC or fire TAC?
Ellen, I spoke with Troy Brightbill. They're going to have a meeting next week, so there's no update from the Law Tech.
Okay. And fire TAC folks, you guys, did you have another meeting?
We don't have another meeting till January.
Okay. So I had added the contract for interim director here as more of an announcement. We have been able to complete that agreement for Norm as an interim director, and it's we consolidated as the board requested. Just wanted to let you know we're ready to go on it, and I hopefully Norm can stick around for a few minutes after the meeting, and I'll buzz in as quickly as possible so we can sign off on it.
He's getting tired of working for free, so.
Yes, I'll be around.
Yeah, well, I'm not the right person for him to talk to about working for free. So, so I just want to let the board know that that's ready to go, and we plan to sign off on it here within the next little bit here. And then,
Alan,
yes.
just for clarity, the last board meeting, we talked about putting everything under one contract. Is that what occurred?
Yes, everything, we were able to do that. And Norm has been able to secure the additional insurance, and it sounds like that was minimal cost. Norm, is that correct?
Yes, I actually kind of restructured my insurance, so it does cover both the project management as well as the duties that an executive director does, and it's really just part of the cost of doing business for me. So yeah, it was a minimal amount extra.
So that's good to hear. So we plan on moving forward with that today. So one associated thing with that we do need board action on is that we do need to put something in the minutes that authorizes Norm to be on the Red Canoe account so he can sign off on those things. And Rachel has more details, I think, on that.
Yeah, we just need 2 authorized signers for our credit card account that we have. So I need you guys to someone make a motion to remove Dave Storker and add Norm to be able to sign stuff. And then Norm will have to go over with me to Red Canoe and get established with them. And then he'll also have to do the same thing for the fidelity bond, but that one does not require a motion by you guys.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to add Norm Crable to the Red Canoe account.
Also move.
Second, Hamilton.
Motion is second.
And if I may, I assume that's also remove Dave from the list, correct?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Administrative report, radio infrastructure. Let staff divide that how they see fit.
Just a couple of updates. I've had Rachel assisting on some follow-up, coordinating some folks for the site that we're looking at procuring and doing a tower study there and real estate appraisal assessment. And a tower study at Baker's Corner as required by the city. So that is in motion. We're just waiting for Northwest Tower to give us a date. They're trying to coordinate some other work that they're doing for State Patrol in the same area to try to do it at the same time. Castle Rock High School, we have the locate completed up there, and we're moving forward with the installation of power.
Okay.
Spillman update. You ready for that?
I am.
Okay. I'm working with the law enforcement agency on some of the training schedule for January. We have GIS working on a couple little mapping things that were reported as issues in the past training testing. There was a request to fire up and provide access to users for the test CAD, because we can't really mess around on the live CAD because it's live. So Spillman and Tom Stoddard in coordination are working on setting that up. I messed around on it a little bit the other day. We found some other issues with it. So Spillman is trying to work through those. Hopefully they'll be done sometime today. And we continue to meet the first and third Tuesdays of the month with the Spillman committee, and I think things are going smoothly. Any questions? I'll go to the NOAANET ILA. I spoke with Mark Henson. I feel like I just said his name wrong. Anyway, Mr. Henson. Friday. And he's still working on some of the paperwork. So we should be getting that soon, hopefully sooner than later. And that's all I have on that.
Okay.
Alan, it's not on the agenda. I was wondering if Norm could give us an update on the 911 center, see where that's at, if it's on time, on budget,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Sure. So let's start with kind of the worst news. Schedule, it is not on schedule. We do not have a revised schedule from them showing when the finish date will be, but it's getting pretty obvious it's not going to be January 4th. We've been asking for a updated schedule now for about a month, and there are only 8 weeks left until January 4th. And so it's just not physically possible to complete within that time. How much time are we going to exceed the contract by is a little difficult to tell. It's probably in the 1 to 3 month time period. As far as schedule, as far as budget, we are within the contract budget. There have been some changes, as you know. There haven't been any recent ones in the last month. But the changes that have been approved have been within the amount that was sort of built into the project by Phil when he placed 200,000 in force account items, which we've used very little of the force account, but we have had a couple of changes in addition that weren't really force account, but they're within that 200,000. So they are budgeted. I'm not sure what the status of if they've all come through this board and been approved or not. So that's something I'll probably work with Ellen on. And then I'm assuming that everyone knows that there is a potential for some additional costs due to COVID related items. But we've not received a claim at this point. So I think that amount is, I think the number has been guesstimated at $200,000 to $300,000. So I'm not really sure what the status is beyond that. So I don't want to paint a total dark picture. They are making progress. They are out there finishing up the curbs. They still hopefully will get the pavement done yet this month. They are getting the windows and doors installed starting next week. So hopefully they'll get that building buttoned up from weather and from potential thefts, and they'll be able to make some good solid progress on the building, but it is behind schedule.
And the COVID related cost, is that materials cost increase? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, that is correct. I'm sure you've all heard about, building supplies going up. The example that I keep hearing, is that, plywood, 1/2-inch structural plywood at the time of bid was at about $35 a sheet. It got up as high as $110 during the project. Not that they bought all of it at that price, but it's come down significantly and is close to what it was at the time of bid. But yes, it's material costs primarily.
And one quick question. I know, Deanna, we spoke a few weeks ago about looking into the generator backup fuel source, the natural gas versus diesel. I don't know if you looked further into that or have any input on that.
I believe it's diesel is what I read on the plans.
It is diesel. Were you looking at changing that, or you're just inquiring which it was?
Well, no, we had a discussion a few weeks back about, I know Alan had some input from the fire side of things, that natural gas and propane backup might be more cost effective long-term than going to a diesel system.
Brad, somebody also did tell me that they have companies that will come in and exchange out that diesel.
Well, that was a discussion we had with Alan, and
Yes.
that there could be some costs. You have to do that annually or something, swap out the fuel. And I don't know if Alan has any input on that.
Well, it's just something that we've talked about at the fire district a number of times, and we're just wondering what the cost differences were is there a potential for long-term savings if we say had a natural gas generator as opposed to diesel, so we didn't have to do those fuel swap outs. And I don't know if the generator's already ordered or not. I know there's quite a lead time on those things, so we may be past the point of no return at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, to respond to that, I mean, the generator has been ordered. I don't know what the cost of canceling that and restocking it. I don't know what the lead time would be on on a natural gas generator. You know, in some events, like such as an earthquake, you know, the natural gas may not be a reliable source because you have a potential of a life of a line, a utility line rupturing and having the natural gas not be available to your facility, which is possibly one reason they went with a on-site fuel tank. But if you had the propane backup, then you would solve that problem.
Yeah, that's something we've looked at, like I said, in the past at the fire district. But diesel, I know, is a tried and true method. I don't necessarily want to upset the apple cart at this point in time, but it was just a question that we had kind of bantered about a few weeks ago. If there was some, I don't know if there's a cost benefit or not. If that's something maybe we could look at, but like I said, if it's past the point of no return, I don't want to hold the project up further because of that. That generator is critical.
Did they want us to find out? I mean,
So do you want? Yes, should we go ahead and ask that question and just find out what the status is and what the impact would be?
It wouldn't hurt to ask the question, I guess. You know, if we could do that now, and then, like I said, if they say, "Oh, well, the generator is going to be here in 2 weeks," and if we do this, it's going to take another 6 or 8 months to get a different generator, and then it's probably a moot point. I don't see that we would want to change at that point.
Okay, well, we can look into that and find out what the impact would be.
Okay. And I'm guessing, Norm, that the delays in the construction are due to supply chain issues and things like that, due to the virus. Is that right?
You know, I think there's some validity. They haven't made that case yet, but they certainly have had some difficulty in getting materials, and they've had difficulty in keeping some of their crews on site. One example was, you know, the concrete crew was all set to do a pour probably 3 weeks ago, and one of the crew members came down with COVID, and they all went into quarantine. So there was no crew to do the work, and so that was, I think, a 10-day quarantine. So it pushed everything back 10 days, and that's just one example.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. Any other questions for Norm on the facility? Again, I'd recommend, if board members, if you get a chance to drop in there and take a look, it is going to be a really nice facility. We're excited about that. I would suggest that you contact Norm and so to coordinate that, because I think there's safety equipment and stuff that's needed to be on site. But if you get a chance, I would encourage it. Okay, old business. I did add, I put termination agreement, and I don't know if that's the right terminology, Frank, but we do need to have board approval for audit purposes for the final disposition of the wages and benefits and things for our former director. Does that cover it, Frank?
Yes, it's just to make sure that it's found. He submitted his resignation to be effective as the end of December, though he had ended his duties or that's basically about a month, 2 months of benefits. In accordance with the contract, he actually could have done that and asked for 4 months. So I don't see anything controversial, but we do need the recognition that he has departed, and that Norm is now the acting executive director.
Right, and that the termination agreement that was signed then was for wages and benefits through the end of the year, to December 31st. I know that's something we've discussed a number of times at the board level, so I would entertain a motion to what would be the right term? Ratify that or
Confirm
confirm that?
confirm his resignation.
Chris Smith, so moved.
Hamilton second.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
All right, I'll be back. Bye, have a good weekend.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next thing is under old business is the facility manager position. I think staff has massaged that that job description based on some board input. People had a chance to take a look at that. What do you think?
So Alan, I did get feedback from Vic and I made the changes that he requested. But I have not heard anything from Kurt. I've reached out to him several times, but just, I know he's busy, but I haven't had any feedback from him at all.
Okay.
And maybe he was good with Vic's changes. I don't know, but
My 2 cents on that, given the delay in the center opening and the fact that we're trying to get a new director on board, I would suggest we table this until we get a new executive director based on their skill set and maybe have that person be involved in the job description and the actual hiring of the person. I don't see the time is really of the essence necessarily with this position.
Okay. Any other thoughts, board members? Is that kind of everybody's feeling?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, agree.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll table this then for further discussion once we have a new executive director on board then. This point, you go ahead.
when you're done, I just have an update on the net motion for old business.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I did reach out to them. One of the board members had asked if we could do like a 3-year contract with them. They don't really do a contract. They do like a quote. And so they sent me a 3-year quote and it was triple the price of the 1-year quote with an increase of about 8 cents per license annually. So it was a little bit more than the 1-year quote, but they don't do like a contract. So I wrote back to him and just said, can we do like a 3-year contract and with annual installments? And I just haven't heard anything back from them. So if they don't do a 3-year contract, do you want us just to sign the 1-year one? And then we'll just go from year to year. Because the other one, they want us to pay the $48,000 for the 3 years in advance. And I don't know that that's a good practice. Typically for a service agreement like that, it's an annual fee that you're charged.
Okay. What's your feeling, board members? Want to do an annual agreement with Net Motion?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, if there's no economic advantage in getting to a multi-year contract, it makes sense to me as well.
Okay. Given the amount and things, I'm guessing we need a motion to move that direction.
So moved. Hamilton.
Second, Chris Smith.
Okay. We have a motion, and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And Alan, just for confirmation, the motion was to do the annual agreement, correct?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, we are down to the executive session. And so we'll ask Rachel to move us into that. And Norm, I guess if you could hang around for that as well, just so you.
Okay, Rachel. The decision has been made.
Do you need Norm in that executive session as well?
Yes, Norm and Frank.
Okay,
What
perfect.
is it? Okay,
And you also have to give an estimate of the time that will be in there and then the reason for it.
and Brad, you have the most details on this. What do you think? 15 minutes or?
I think that's reasonable, yes.
Okay, so we'll say 15 minutes.
And the reason for it again, please?
It's a discussion with attorney regarding legal risk of pending or current actions. Is that the right terminology? RCW 4230 110 parentheses 1 parentheses I.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Scott, can you hear me? No. Maybe, oh. It just says open. Everybody will.
I do the same one.
Oh, the camera.
Yeah, in case the board wanted to see it.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I just thought like, oh, they're losing it. But you're right. It's not necessary.
How's it going, Jared?
It's going. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just kicked out of my room. So
Oh, right on. Yeah.
I'm just kind of.
They went back for a minute. So that's
HM9, hands-free audio.
Alan, you have to unmute yourself now.
Oh, okay.
I think it
Okay.
automatically muted all of us.
Okay. So is everybody back into the session? And then to remember, like I didn't remember, you have to unmute yourself to speak. So we're out of executive session. No decisions were made in executive session. However, I would entertain a motion for a decision based on information from the executive session.
I would make a motion that we hire Jim Dusha privately to investigate an internal matter.
Okay,
And I'll second. Brad Thurman.
we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries.
Hey, Alan, who made that second? Sorry.
I believe it was Brad.
It was.
Thank you.
Okay. So then we will be, I'm doing this right, Frank. We will adjourn the regular meeting and we will open a closed meeting to discuss labor negotiations and update. Is that correct? The way I did that?
If there's no other business other than that, then actually the open public meeting can be closed. And then you can just keep people that are part of the collective bargaining discussion, which is not open to the public.
Okay. Okay, so Rachel, I guess if you can put us back into a breakout session for
As long as you want, you don't have to account for the time.
okay. Yeah, I hopefully it won't take too long. But for board members and alternates and appropriate staff, like would be that would be what Janelle and Norm, I believe, were involved in that.
I believe Jerry as well. And then
Jerry,
did you,
okay.
are you going to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Yes. So the regular meeting is adjourned.
Right.
Okay.
Join the room.